Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vidam Sya Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanachanashalaka Shakshuram Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gaurva Bhishtam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindam Vidam Urishwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Nawe Bija Pranam Devam Divyat Tanum Suchandavanam Balarka Chelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandetam Shubhanam Madeka Sharanam Nyasishvara Shidaram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratabhishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila, Chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Chaitanya. I'll begin with verse number 76. Guru Nana Babagan Sishya Prabhu Tanuman Nana Rite Sadata Nachai Nirvedan Bishadadanya Chapaya Harsha Darya Manyu Nritye Prabhu Kalajai. As the spiritual master chastises the disciple and teaches him the art of devotional service, so all the ecstatic symptoms of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, including despondency, moroseness, humility, restlessness, joy, endurance, and anger, instructed his body and mind. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his time. Chandidas Vidyapati Rayaranataka Giti Karnamrita Shri Gita Govinda Swarup Ramananda Sane Mahaprabhu Ratridine Kaya Shune Parama Ananda. He also passed his time reading the books and singing the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati. Maharaj. He also passed his time reading the books and singing the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati and listening to quotations from the Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, Krishna Karnamrita, and Gita Govinda. Thus, in the association of Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed his days and nights chanting and hearing with great pleasure. Purir Vatsaya Mukhya Ramanandir Shudas Sakya Govinda Jera Shuddha Dasharas Gadadhar Jaganananda Swarupera Mukhya Rasananda Echari Bhave Prabhubhas. Among his associates, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed paternal loving affection from Paramananda Puri, friendly affection with Ramananda Roy, unalloyed service from Govinda and others, and humors of conjugal love with Gadadhar, Jagadananda, and Swarup Damodar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed all these four mellows, and thus he remained obliged to his devotees. Lila Shuka Martyajan Tara Hoy Babodgam Ishware Seki Iha Vishmoy Tahe Mukhya Rasashrai Hoya Chena Mahashai Tate Hoy Sarva Babodoy Lila Sukha, who is Bilva Mangal Thakur, was an ordinary human being, yet he developed many ecstatic symptoms in his body. What then is so astonishing about these symptoms being manifest in the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? In the ecstatic mood of conjugal love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the highest platform. Therefore, all the exuberant ecstasies were naturally visible in his body. Purbe Braja Bilase Jaitina Abilase Jatneha Ashwad Nahoila Sri Radhara Baba Sar Apane Kori Angikar Saitina Vastu Ashwadila. During his previous pastimes in Vrindavan, Lord Krishna desired to enjoy the three different types of ecstasy, but despite great endeavor, he could not taste them. Such ecstasies are the monopoly of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, in order to taste them, Sri Krishna accepted the position of Srimati Radharani in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apane kore ashwadane shikaila bhaktagane prema chintamanir prabhudani nahi jane stanastan jare tare koiladan Mahaprabhu data shiromani. By personally tasting the mellows of love of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his direct disciples the process. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a wealthy capitalist, possessing the touchstone of love of God, not considering whether one is a proper or improper recipient. He gives his treasure to anyone and everyone. Thus he is the most munificent. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's capital is the touchstone of love of God, and consequently he is a great owner of that transcendental treasure. After making unlimited amounts of gold, the touchstone remains the same. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although distributing love of Godhead unlimitedly, still remained the supreme owner of this transcendental opulence. His devotees who learned it from him also had to distribute it munificently all over the world. This Krishna-conscious movement, following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his confidential devotees, is also trying to distribute love of Godhead all over the world through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ek Gupta Baba Sindhu, Brahmana Pai Ek Bindu, Henadana, Vilaila, Samsare, Aiche Doyalu, Avatar, Aiche Data Nahi Ar, Gunakeho Nare Varnibare. No one, not even Lord Brahma, can ascertain or even taste a drop of this confidential ocean of ecstasy, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, has distributed this love of Godhead all over the world. Thus there cannot be any incarnation more munificent than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no greater donor. Who can describe his transcendental qualities? Kahibara katanahe, kohile kehona bujaye, aiche chitra chaitanyara ranga, se bujite pare, chaitanyara kripa jare, hoitara dashanu dasha sangha. Such topics are not to be discussed freely, because if they are, no one will understand them. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unto one who is able to understand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown mercy by giving him the association of the servant of his own servant. Chaitanya-lila Ratnasar Swarupera Bandar Teho Twila Raghunathara Kante Tahan Kichu Jesh Shunilun Taha Ihan Vistarilun Bhaktagane Dilun Ebete. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the topmost of jewels. They have been kept in the storehouse of Swarup Damodar Goswami, who has explained them to Jagannath Das Goswami, who has repeated them to me. Whatever little I have heard from Jagannath Das Goswami I have described in this book, which is presented to all devotees. All the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were noted by his personal secretary, Swarup Damodar, and repeated to Raghunath Das Goswami, who memorized them. Whatever Krishna das Kaviraj Goswami heard is recorded in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is called the Parampara system, from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Swarup Damodar to Raghunath Das Goswami to Kaviraj Goswami. Krishna das Kaviraj Goswami has distributed this information in his book Chaitanya Charitamrita. In other words, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the essence of the instructions given through the Parampara system of the disciplic succession stemming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jadi keo hena koi granta koila shloka moi itarajane naribe bujite prabhuraje acharan sekore varnan sarvachitta nari aradite. If one says that Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of Sanskrit verses and therefore not understandable by a common man, I reply that what I have described are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that for me to satisfy everyone is not possible. Srila Kaviraj Goswami and one who follows in his footsteps do not have to cater to the public. Their business is simply to satisfy the previous acharyas and describe the pastimes of the Lord. One who is able to understand can relish this exalted transcendental literature, which is actually not meant for ordinary persons like scholars and literary men. Generally, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes recorded in the Chaitanya Charitamrita are studied in universities and scholastic circles from a literary and historical point of view, but actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a subject matter for research workers or literary scholars. It is simply meant for those devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nahi kahan saviroda, nahi kahan anuroda, sahaja vastu kore vivaran jadi hoy ragodesh tahan hoye avesh sahaja vastu najai likan. In this Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is no contradictory conclusion, nor is anyone else's opinion accepted. I have written this book to describe the simple substance as I've heard it from superiors. If I become involved in someone's likes and dislikes, I cannot possibly write the simple truth. Jevanahi buje keho shunite seha ki adbhuta Chaitanya Charita Krishna upajive priti janive rasara rite shunile bora hoy hita. If one does not understand in the beginning but continues to hear again and again, the wonderful effects of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes will bring love for Krishna. Gradually one will come to understand the loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis and other associates of Vrindavan. Everyone is advised to continue to hear over and over again in order to greatly benefit. Bhagavat shlokamoy tikatara samskrito hoy tavukaiche bhuje tribhuvan ihan shloka duichare tara vyakya vashakori kenena bhujibe sarvajan. In reply to those critics who say that Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of Sanskrit verses, it can be said that Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of Sanskrit verses, as are the commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. Nonetheless, Srimad Bhagavatam can be understood by everyone as well as by advanced devotees who study the Sanskrit commentaries. Why then will people not understand the Chaitanya Charitamrita? There are only a few Sanskrit verses, and these have been explained in the Bengali vernacular. What is the difficulty in understanding? So we have translations of the Sanskrit and the Bengali. So there shouldn't be any feeling that one cannot comprehend what is being written here, because it's actually Mahaprabhu is giving us everything. So if we can go through Mahaprabhu, then we can understand Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. Seisha Lilara Sutragan Kahilon Kichu Vivaran Ihan Vistarite Chitta Hoy Take Jadi Ayusesh Vistariba Lila Sesh Jadi Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoy. I have already given a synopsis of all the facts and figures of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's last pastimes, and I have a desire to describe them elaborately. If I remain longer and am fortunate enough to receive the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I shall try to describe them again more elaborately. Ami Brida Jaratur Likite Sampaye Kara Ami Brida Jaratur Likite Kanpaye Kar Manikachu Smarana Nahoy Nadyakiye Nayane Nashuniye Shravane Tabuliki Ebora Vishmoy. I have now become too old and disturbed by invalidity. While I write, my hands tremble. I cannot remember anything, nor can I see or hear properly. Still I write, and this is a great wonder. A Antya-lila sar sutra madhye vistar korikachu korilun varnan iha madhye marijabe varnitena paritabe elila bhakta Janardan. In this chapter I have to some extent described the essence of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya at the end. If I die in the meantime and cannot describe them in detail, at least the devotees will have this transcendental treasure. So here it says, in this chapter I have to some extent described the essence of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya at the end. If I die in the meantime and cannot describe them in detail, at least the devotees will have this transcendental treasure. So as I was also remarking yesterday, Srila Prabhupada has given us so many books. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has given us Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many literatures, and of course it was his life's project to translate the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. He didn't finish the 11th and 12th cantos, but he had given the essence of all the 10th cantos, not just given the essence, he'd given a full commentary on the 10th canto from start to end in his Krishna book, which is a translation of all the chapters of the 10th canto. So, although he didn't finish the Srimad Bhagavatam, he gave us a real essence, and his disciples finished the writing of the 10th, 11th, and 12th cantos. Sankepiye Sutra Koila Jai Ihana Likila Agetaha Koriba Vistar Jaditata Dina Jiye Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoye Icha Bari Koriba Vichar. In this chapter I have briefly described the Antya-lila. Whatever I have not described, I shall describe extensively in the future. If by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy I live for so many days that I can fulfill my desires, I will give full consideration to these pastimes. Chota Bora Bhaktagan, Bandon, Sabur, Sri Charan, Sabe More, Koraha, Santosh, Swarup Gosaira Mata, Rupa Raghunatha, Jane Jata, Thai Liki Nahimoradosh. I worship herewith the lotus feet of all kinds of devotees, both advanced and neophyte. I request all of them to be satisfied with me. I am faultless because I have written herein whatever I have understood from Swarup Damodar Goswami and Rupan Raghunath Das Goswamis. I have neither added to nor subtracted from their version. According to Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, there are three kinds of devotees known as Bhajana Vigya, experts in devotional service, Bhujana Shila, devotees engaged in devotional service, and Krishna Name Dikita, Krishna Nama Kori, initiated devotees engaged in chanting. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita begs the mercy of all these devotees and asks them to be pleased with him. He says, let the neophyte devotees, the devotees who are very expert in arguing, though they have no sense of advanced devotional service, who think themselves very advanced because they imitate some smarta Brahmins, let such devotees not be displeased with me, thinking that I have committed errors in this regard. I beg their pardon with great humility, but I am submitting that I personally have no desire to add or subtract anything. I've only written what I have heard in the disciplic succession because I am dedicated to the lotus feet of previous acharyas like Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Rupa Goswami. I've only written what I have learned from them. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaitari Bhakta Brinda Shiridore Sabar Charan Swarup Rupa Sanatan Raghunathar Sri Charan Dule Karon Mastake Bhushan. According to the Parampara system, I wish to take the dust from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. I wish to take the dust of their lotus feet upon my head. In this way, I wish to be blessed with their mercy. Panajara Agyadana Brajara Vaishnavagana Bandontara Mukyak Haridas Chaitanya Vilasa Sindhu Kalolera Ekbindu Tarakana Kohe Krishnadas. Receiving orders from the above authorities and the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan, especially from Haridas, the priest of Govindaji, I, Krishna das Kaviraj Goswami, have tried to describe one small particle of one drop of one wave of the ocean of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, second chapter, describing the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Giridhari Gopinatha Mananama Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Radhuna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Radhuna Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vijnana Shamishka Puran Jai Gosai Jarmui Janardan Dasabha Padarenu Mora Panchagas Ade Janana Sevi Bhaktisani Bhas Janame Shaname More Abhilas Jai Gosai Jave Bhaje Koila Bhas Radha Krishna Antya-lila Kodila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Bhade Majayama Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya Hare Nam Sankirtana Grohe Naratamada Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya Hare Nam Sankirtana Grohe Naratamada Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmamacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhadra Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premasigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vishwavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishna das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Nanda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ramayapur Ki Jai. Aparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsinga Dev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kartik Vrata Ki Jai. Shri Damodar Vrata Ki Jai. Shri Niyama Seva Ki Jai. Shri Urja Vrata Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.